Hi, everybody. Hi. We're getting ready to get started in just a few minutes, but for those of you who are there, let's see. Can you hear us? And if you can hear us, do you mind just popping a little message into the text box and telling us? And you know I always don't know where to find it. Oh, I see it. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. All right, super. We've already got a yes, so that's good. Yep, thank you, Julie. Julie. Yeah, for sure. All right.
Probably, goodness, we talked about a lot of things in our last meeting.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to come along?
Yeah. Except maybe that needs to. There we go.
Those of you who are tuning in can see the magic that's happening behind. Hi, Jana. How are you? Yay, good to see you. We're doing the behind the scenes magic, getting you to where you see my screen. All right, super. All right, why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm sure we're going to have people join us as we go, but just really quickly, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. And hi, I'm Rachel Heron, and I am a patent specialist. And a little bit of background, I have worked always in special education. Teaching students at the time severe and profound disabilities, essential skills classrooms, a lot of classrooms of students with emotional and behavioral disabilities, and inclusion classrooms, and I've kind of run the gamut. And I am happy to be here with you today in this capacity. And Jessica, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jessica Conrad. I am a speech language pathologist and patent specialist. I've been in SLP serving ages 3 to 22 and students with AAC needs and not AAC needs. And now I'm a patent specialist in the areas of AAC, early interventions, AIM technology and specifications, and web tutorials.
Super.
Hi, I'm Kristen Sievers-Kofer, and I'm a special education specialist at the Department of Education.
Yay, we're so happy to all be here together with you today. And we just kind of want to get a feel for who you are. So if you don't mind, if you would, the format of this is a little bit weird because we're going to do our best to put your text. That was one of our pieces of feedback from the last meeting, is that you really want to see what everybody's saying in the chat box. So we're going to do our best to get that information to you. But if you would like to be unmuted, just text us or just chat box us and tell us that you would like to be unmuted so that you can speak. And if not, if you would like to just go ahead and type in who you are and where you're coming from, we would love it. And we'll share that out. And what you teach.
Yeah. Help us get an idea as we're talking through different things. If we know a certain person's in a certain classroom or has a certain job,
yep,
it helps a little bit.
It does.
Where we heard that name.
We can't see who's typing, so it's always this kind of uncomfortable cricket moment while we're waiting for the first one to pop up. And we don't want to start calling people out like Julie Kuhn. Hi, Jamie. Okay, super. She is from, she's an SLP. Fantastic. Wonderful. Who else is here?
KV Corp.
Where's Kankakee
Where's
Valley?
Kankakee
Oh,
Valley?
Fantastic. Welcome.
You said we got 17 folks this time?
Who have registered, but we only
okay.
have about 10 signed in so far.
Hey, 10 is good, though.
All right, Kim Beach, super. Supervisor with Westlake Special Ed Co-op. Wonderful. So glad to have you. Oh, yes, Jana Mark, and she is from City of Hammond.
Yay.
Our AT specialist up there.
Well,
good to have you.
Later.
We will make her talk.
We have ways.
And we have Natosha, is that right? Natosha Brooks from Hamilton. Natosha, sorry. My eyesight is not what it used to be. From Hamilton Boone Madison Co-op. Fantastic. What do you do there? You didn't expect me to single you out, did you? Oh, you're a life skills teacher. Fantastic. So glad to have you. Wonderful. All right. Anybody else who would like to introduce yourselves? We encourage you to type in and tell us who you are and where you're coming from. And again, if you want to be unmuted, we are happy to do that. I'm sorry that the format makes you ask. Julie Kuhn, one of our comrades in the field. She is the AAC specialist extraordinaire, she adds, which I do agree with. Yeah. I would agree even if you weren't here, Julie. Super. I'm so happy that you're all here. All right. So we'll go ahead and Julie's laughing. We have Cheryl with Northwestern Consolidated Schools, Essential Skills Teacher, high school, woman after my own heart.
We don't always get lots of high school folks. That's nice.
That was my background too, and I always kind of felt like things were geared for a different level, and it was really challenging for me when I was teaching in that area. She's laughing out loud. Super, and it still is. You get it. Fantastic. Anybody else who's here who has not introduced yourself, please, as you can see, we're watching that box, so we're going to make sure that you can that you will be welcomed and introduced to the group. Okay, do you mind clicking on the? Thank you. It's a collaborative effort here. Oh, we are recording, so this is good. This is our reminder, our visual reminder.
So you can watch and listen later or share with friends. If there's something great happened today you want to share with them, we'll be able to post that.
Yep, we post that on our Facebook page. If you're not a part of the Northwest Region Facebook page, I encourage you to be a part of that. I think it's a great resource that's hopefully collaborative and more collaborative as we get people to post on the page with us. And we also post this on the Patton's website. So definitely you can see the recorded issue of this later. All right, so just a little explanation. We are part of a large community of practice, which is across the entire state. People coming together, just really thinking about how we are able to test and really delve into communication for students who have no sign of communication or low signs of communication. And out of that tree, do you like my analogy here? Out of the tree, our fruit of our labor is this group. This is one of our subcommittees where we really thought that it would be great to empower all of you to not only tune in and kind of hear some new things, but to, as a region, to come together and support each other, because I feel like a lot of times we're just kind of floating out there in the middle of nowhere, reinventing the wheel all of the time. And there might be some really good, oh, thanks, Kristen, for posting the Facebook page. We'll put that out there for you. For all of you to be able to use each other in that way, in a very positive way. All right, so we have several promises that we like to give. One is at the end, closer to the end of the meeting, my favorite part is thinking about individual cases that you have. And that could be a student that you have a challenge with that you just kind of want to find out what other people are doing, or to kind of get we just did a meeting where somebody just wanted to be pointed in the right direction because she was starting up in a classroom full of students who had communication that was not, that she needed help with. And then also, I've lost my train of thought completely. Celebrations. But student cases, if you have data, do you like that? I just drifted off at the end of the day. We have specific cases and data, things that you've used that you might share with other people. So be thinking about that if you haven't come to the table with something already. But another promise that we have is the AT Corner. Mm-hmm. And Jessica, will you please take it away?
So, Julie Kuhn and I are part of another committee, so from that same tree, but a different fruit that came from that. And you guys are among the first to view our AAC augmentative AAC assessment list. And one of the big concerns was, if I have a student that we need to assess for an AT evaluation or something that gives me progress monitoring data, you just didn't know where to look. Or maybe you had one tool, but you didn't know what else was out there. So, and I'm going to post the link to this so you guys can jump on here as well. So this is a Google Doc that it is a masterpiece that has been a long time in collaboration and creation, but it's not going to be done. It's never going to be done. So we have lots of assessments or maybe checklists or some sort of non-standard assessment that might
We
be
see you
used.
hopping
Yeah,
on.
we see you guys hopping on the top. Progress monitoring tools. It might just be an informal checklist or a way to just gather all that data together. It might be a test that gives you a score, or it might be free. So, for example, if you are interested in something like this AAC Evaluation Genie app, you can click on it and it's going to send you to page 10 and give you a description, what features there are, if you could use it as progress monitoring tool. So lots of really, really great information. One of the ones that Rachel is really excited about.
I love it.
Was this AT Matchup. You want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. I was a assistive technology coordinator for a co-op here on the south side of Indianapolis, and this was really huge for me. There's so much out there, and it's really hard to kind of filter down to what you need specifically for students. So this AT Match that was created at Johns Hopkins, basically, if you want to click on communication, you can see that it asks you if you're talking about receptive or expressive language, and then it gives you a whole list of things that you might want to try or things that you want to research and see. And a lot of these things are in the Patents library. So if you want to check these items out or you want to give it a good trial, then it's a good jumping off point for students. I know that one of my frustrations always is that you get comfortable or familiar with the things that you want, and then something new comes out that you think might meet the needs of the students even more. But even knowing about that or having a place to look, I think this matchup is just really, really pretty fantastic. All right, so Cheryl says,
awesome, just what I need.
"Oh yeah, good, good."
When
All
you
right.
go back,
Oh, yeah.
The Go one or whatever, that
Yeah.
one that you were on, didn't you say that's something that Patents has? And I don't know if
Mhm.
people realize that you can borrow an
Yes.
app from Patents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual just app or the app on an iPad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who would have thought you can just borrow an
Yeah.
app? So,
It's
So
pretty
if your
amazing.
student brings in an iPad mini and it doesn't have to belong to you, it could belong to the family. We can send it out to you for 6 weeks to try it, or we can send you an iPad mini with the app already loaded.
so free to you, free to the family for 6 weeks.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's a great resource.
Yeah.
And it works like magic. It's magical when that app just shows up.
Yeah, I'm
So-
really impressed with this list.
Yes.
It's definitely a fantastic resource. And as they said, it's a masterpiece, but it is not ever going to be finished
Yes.
because we know technology changes faster than that.
So I would not recommend that you print this out necessarily because, as you can see, whenever somebody suggests a change or they have a resource that isn't on here, we're going to be adding it in real time. So definitely keep that link. I'm sure we're going to be deleting this draft, and this will be the permanent document. So,
Yep.
Anything to add, Julie? This was Julie and I's baby. For
Aw,
Yeah,
it looks just
exactly.
like you. All right, super. Julie, if you do have anything to add,
we can unmute
we
you.
can unmute you, and
Whether
we
you
will.
like it or not.
Yeah, right. All right, super. Okay, so just to give you one of the things that we promise in the meetings is to give you a chance to not just see some of the things that might be going around that you might. Oh,
Julie says, "Good going."
good going. Thank you, Julie. Some of the things around your community that you might need, some things around the state, things that you pay for, things that are free. A really great opportunity, shameless plug for Patents, but it's because it is such a great opportunity, is we have our Patents Tech Expo that's coming up on April 12th. This is free to you. We're picking up the tab. So this is a great event where we have all sorts of vendors from all over the place coming in who are doing presentations throughout the day. We'll give you some breakfast and a free lunch. And it definitely is one of those times where you can just really get your hands on things in the exhibition hall or go to a more focused session. And we actually took the schedule for the day, and she's showing you a picture of what it looks like when you register. So it is just going to take you to an Eventbrite page. Yeah, absolutely. This is the schedule at a glance, and we've highlighted some sessions that we thought would be really good for AAC users. So did you want to share with us?
So Toby Dynavox and PRC are going to be there doing sessions on, looks like Toby Dynavox is doing one on literacy, which is awesome. And then PRC is doing alternative access, another awesome session. And then Apple will be there doing a general session on reaching all learners. And then Lazy Tech, which does switch access for computers, will be there. And then Speak Modalities, which is, if you've heard of Speak All or Speak More, is an iPad app that kind of looks a lot like the Picture Exchange Communication System, so PECS, but on an iPad. So, and I think they've been at Patents before. So if you have been to our Tech Expo or are interested in going, please let us know. We're kind of interested. When is it registration due? Just tell us.
That is a great question.
Julie,
do you ever fill up? Do you guys
Yes, we do fill up.
Good.
Yes,
Well,
we
do you know
do.
the maximum number of people, or just that it fills?
I'm not sure, but
So
we
I
will
wonder.
definitely find out. Matter of fact, I will find out right now.
Yeah, Julie, if you know off the top of your head when this fills up, but I mean, it's a fantastic day. Rachel won a computer.
Yeah, I won my Chromebook.
And she wasn't an Patents employee.
No, I was
anything.
not a Patents employee. I was just a follower.
But you can see all sorts of equipment from very inexpensive to very expensive, right? Because didn't you say Eagle Eyes?
Oh, yeah.
And that's like thousands, right?
Mhm.
So nice to be able to see something before you would suggest spending the money on it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's a great time to really talk to the vendors and talk about, like, oh, would this be a good option? And then we will be there on hand to answer your questions as well. So it's a really great day. And how often do you get a free lunch and breakfast?
I know, and it's good. Super. So definitely keep that under your belt. And we have some other trainings and opportunities around. There's a LAMP training at Clark Middle School in St. John, Indiana. Yep, and I know some of these might be familiar if you've been to our meetings before, but they haven't happened yet, so we kept them on there. PECS training in Indianapolis coming up at the end of April. And then we wanted to focus on some free online courses. I personally took some courses through the AAC Institute and found that was really good. Free to you. You just register for the classes. And then, Jessica, do you want to share everyone?
Yeah. Everyone Communicates. This is a personal professional website, but she went through and created a whole list of free online tutorials that are all really, really good quality online, as you care to take them, resources. So for example, this top one, Angelman Syndrome Foundation, has tons of hours of resources, really, really high quality webinars related, not just for communication, but like reading and writing for students with complex communication needs. So not just students who have Angelman syndrome. Some other really great ones from ASHA, there was one that I was really excited to see. Supporting students with minimal movement. That was another really good one.
Yeah.
With David Buchelman, if you're familiar with his work. So all really good
Click on
stuff.
any of those? I can't remember the last time.
Let's see.
Those
So
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's David Buchelman.
there's David Buchelman. So we'll stick this resource in there. And
So those are just some free things. And then we wanted to draw your attention to the fact that Patents Project provides free training, professional development for all public school teachers and private school teachers if you work with a public IEP around the state. And we also are big on UDL. So we don't just service students who have IEPs, but we definitely want to make sure that every student has the opportunity to learn the way that they need to learn. So we have lots and lots of trainings that are online. This calendar would take you straight there. If you want us to come out, there are 8 of us who travel all around the state, and Julie is one of them. And we would like to come to you. And Julie says,
can parents take the webinars too? Yes.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there's no sign in, with the exception of maybe the ASHA webinars might have, you have to have your ASHA Cs to get in there, but like the Angelman's ones, no, they're definitely geared. I would say the language in them probably ranges between like newbie to professional. So I would say there's a lot of great resources for parents as well.
Absolutely.
Great question.
Absolutely. And we wanted to draw your attention to Julie's webinar. So Expecting
the
Achievement.
thing today.
She really is. Julie, I'm so glad you're here.
She
Because
should be
I don't know
running
what
this.
She should be. Julie, put your cam on. Expecting Achievement, Universal Design for Learning and Access to Curriculum for Low Verbal to No Verbal Students. Definitely will be a good one.
And then I just got off the phone with Julie begging her, because that is the same day as this meeting is going to be next month.
Yeah.
So she said that she will see if she can't push that meeting time a little further back so that this meeting, and then you can go straight to Julie's webinar for that kind of PD. So you can have a 2-hour, get your 2 PGPs. It's going to be a
AAC
fantastic
all the
day.
time.
night
AAC in the
long.
house. Yeah, you will not have any.
We know you
regrets.
guys are jumping up and down out there.
It's going to be a really great, what a great opportunity.
Snacks and
Julie says.
This is a great way to find out how to include kids in the general curriculum.
Oh,
I know. What a
we
great
need this,
question
yeah,
that keeps on
very
coming up
much so.
over and over again.
Part of our feedback, and we've discussed this a little bit at the end, you have an opportunity to do a PG, to fill out a survey for a PGP, but we read the surveys when they come back because you give us feedback of what direction this meeting needs to go, what information you need. And this is a hot topic, how in a universally designed classroom or how in the general education do we meet these needs? Absolutely. All right, super. Do you mind skipping to the next? All right, and another opportunity, tweet on Tuesday nights. In general, at 8:30, we host a Twitter chat, but there is specifically one on March 21st that is communication strategies for students with intense needs. And I'll tell you, these tweets get flying and so much information comes out. It's a really exciting environment to share and collaborate with other people and to network with other people around to find out, what's out there. So please join us. Yeah.
Use Storify. I'm learning the words.
Storify, so that you can still get a PGP. So you can get a PGP for participating, but you can also get a PGP for reading the Storify
the next day or something if you can't come
on
to
your
that
time.
one. Yeah.
Or if you're terrified by Twitter, because it is just a lot of fast-moving stuff.
Once you get used to it, though, you get as you.
Yes, I can tell you, I'm calm as a cucumber now. I'm tweeting. Oh, Julie says.
Twitter chat is a blast, says Julie. Energy feeds off energy.
Energy!
And it's just so cool to be in a virtual space where everyone's excited about what you're excited about, or everyone is asking the same questions, or you have an answer for something that someone else is asking. So.
Absolutely.
So do you wear your sweatband headbands so that you're going so fast?
Yeah. The sweatbands, sweatpants. Nobody can see you.
Yeah.
And Julie says it's okay to lurk too, which absolutely, just tune in and just say like, hey, I'm here, and then just, silently.
There's no shame in lurking.
No shame.
Totally agree.
But we love new people.
Kristen just said stalker. All right. So do any of you have opportunities in your areas that you would like to share? Please feel free to type it in or tell us to unmute you, and we would be grateful to do that. I always like to hear a live voice. We'll give you an uncomfortable second, like this, please. And if you think of anything as we're going on, please put it in the chat box and we'll make sure that we share it out throughout this meeting. Super. Oh, check this out. Kristen created this.
Don't you want them to come and see you?
We want to come see you. We would love to road trip to you. And if you have something you want to show us, if you have things that you want to work through when it comes to this, we would love to get in our VW bus and head your way. We have one planned for the 20th.
Yeah, we're going up to Bluffton Schools.
Yeah.
And then kind of related to this, 2 months ago, I got to go up to Brownsburg, and Brownsburg actually hosted part of the COP, so that was cool for the central area. So yes, keep in mind that Rachel and I and Julie, we provide evaluation consultations. We train your staff. We'll do on-site demonstrations. So we'll bring a piece of technology and work alongside you and your students so you can see how that would look in their educational environment. How powerful and how cool is that? So, and we're a lot of fun.
Yeah, good for a few laughs, if anything. So, all right, super. So please contact us if you want us to drive the bus up. So, time for you. Do you have any celebrations? No celebration is too small.
No.
I know we just got through some ISTEP. There might be some celebrations that surround that. Anything that you'd like to share that was good for you in your region?
Even something tiny, little breakthrough you had with one student. Mm-hmm. Somebody did something differently than they've done in the past, and you were happy, surprised.
Yeah.
And you made it here. That's a celebration.
Yeah.
Yes.
After a long day, you are dedicated to come to this.
You had a celebration, didn't you?
Oh, at a celebration, I was working with a school that was committed to making sure all their paraprofessionals, their IAs, were trained with Proloqua to go. So we set up like really short 25-minute sessions. And somebody made the comment, gosh, if I had known it was this easy, we would have done it 3 years ago with them. And it was kind of like, well, congratulations, today is your day. And they're doing well with it.
Yeah. And it was great because they don't necessarily have a lot of extra time for that. So they were able to do the 25 minutes here or there that they have throughout the day. So Jessica would Skype with a couple, then a couple later, then a couple later. And so whatever way is most flexible and easiest for you guys, they will meet your needs.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good time.
All right. If you come up with any celebrations, we definitely want to share those. So feel free to continue to type them or ask us to take you off mute. Do not be afraid of the real voice. All right. And AEM, I know that Jana's there. I don't know if you're out there, not to call on you specifically right now. She's panicking somewhere. But our AEM grant, our AIM grant that is put on by Patton's. Oh, yes, I'm here, but scared. Did you say you're scared? She's here but scared. I think I know you better than that. But we have 7 or 8 schools across our state that have received this grant, and part of that grant is giving tools and materials and helping schools get on board with accessible educational materials and making sure that your school is up to speed and providing those timely materials when everybody gets them. But the cool part that really is part of what we do in these meetings is a device. Do you want to talk a
the
little bit about
communication component? So in addition to trying to make sure all students have access to their educational materials, each team can select one or maybe more students as part of a case study to match them up with a device, a communication device, and that is provided at no cost to the school district. So that's really exciting. So that device might be a really expensive eye gaze device, or it might be several lower tech solutions. But it's a really cool opportunity for the SLPs and team members to make sure that all students in their school district are having access to it, and a great opportunity for school districts that maybe they don't have a process to try to feature match students up to that. So you are surrounded by your excited team members for this grant, and then you are wrapped around with Patton's support.
Yeah.
So it's
Do
really
either of you work with him on this one?
Yeah, actually, I'm the second on the team, and I was going to ask, did you turn in? Do you know, Jana, what you're going to do for communication yet? Wow, that's putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Make something up.
Which grade or anything?
My primary team just came up with a student.
Oh, Julie's helping him in too, right? Julie's also the second on that team. Yep.
Julie can pop in too if you know stuff and want to share.
It's nice to have her on the team when it comes to the communication part because she is a guru.
So you have a lot of Patton's folks, if Julie and you, and then another
It's a big district.
Well, that is true. It is large, yeah.
Yes, there are districts. There are ones that only have 2 people on them too. But our larger districts have 3. Yeah. All right. Well, if you think of anything, oh, sorry. She said, yes, we know some of the students finalizing a meeting Wednesday to move forward with the student and the device. It's really exciting. Thank you so much for sharing that. I just love the fact that this is a costly thing, and the fact that, the state is willing to chip in to make this happen.
And my favorite thing, videos. If you want to take a video of anybody, I love that.
She's our video hustler.
Because then we could share it with this group and even the other little regional groups and say, hey, this is what you guys did kind of step by step, or this was an example of something that was tried. And I think people, not that they're only visual learners, but often it's nice for a teacher to see what another teacher's doing rather than just verbally talking about it. But
absolutely. We know what it looks like when you have a kid on paper and then you see that kid in person. It is just such a huge difference. I love it. She's always a big advocate for that. So Julie said, good things. Videos are so powerful and it shows the things we missed. Absolutely. You can actually review it, which you can't do in the moment. Super good feedback.
What a great way to get administrators and community excited about what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. All right, so moving right along. These were just a couple of things that we'll just briefly go over that the Southwest, or Southwest, as I am now reading that. Oh, well, fix that. The Southwest District.
If you're cool, you spell it that.
That's exactly how you spell it. But so they had a couple of different questions that we thought were pertinent for other people, and one of them was the request for data collection for AAC devices. And do you want to go over the
Yeah. So I just wanted to pull out two of the ones that I've used quite a bit, and the SWAC and the WADI here are fairly similar. They kind of do some different things, but I wanted to pull out the DAG2, which is also listed on that communication AAC evaluation list. But this is out of Tobii Dynavox, but you do not need to be using a Tobii Dynavox to use this resource. But basically what it does is you rate students in the areas of expressive, receptive language, understanding expression, social interaction, literacy skills, and other. And it kind of goes through a hierarchy of emergent to independent. And then from that, you can select goals that you might work on that relate to the 4 competencies from, I think it's Buchelman and Miranda. So linguistic, social, operational, and I'm going to forget the 4th one. But and it has measurable goals related to each of the levels that the student might be at, which was something that I always struggled with, trying to make sure that we got beyond, requesting favorite snacks and initiating conversation, where are we going, what are we doing, all based on a queuing hierarchy, which I think is really, really valuable because as we all know, writing a goal that's, select your favorite snack out of a choice of 3 with 80% accuracy, that goal doesn't actually mean anything. How do I choose my favorite snack with 80% accuracy? How do you know what my favorite snack is? Is it really still Fig Newtons after 4 years? So this is
Gianna saying,
can you share this as well? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to stick the link in there right now. And then scrolling down, there's a piece in there that helps you think about as you take data. Has a lot of pieces to it so that you can ensure that you are taking data on the goals that you're trying to, and like showing that a student is going from physical assistance to a direct verbal cue, an indirect cue, or no cue at all, natural cue in the environment, which I think is a lot more valuable than just doing straight up, did they do it or did they not? Think about the cues and the support you're giving. And then the other one I wanted to pull, the WADI. Rachel and I have used this one quite a bit because specifically data collection during trials. Let's scroll up to the beginning. And again, you guys are going to receive this PowerPoint. You guys are going to have access. We'll put that on the Facebook page. So any of this that we click on, you'll have access to. So we really like this form specifically because what I have found, and Rachel, feel free to disagree with me, but it's student.
No, I'm going to disagree.
Once you figured out what that goal for assistive technology is and you have a device that you're going to try and see if it works, if it was going to fail, it wasn't going to fail because you chose the wrong device. Because if you got bad data, at least that was good data to have.
Yes.
To know, like, hey, it didn't work and this is why it didn't work. If it was going to fail, it was going to fail because of that acquisition, training, and management piece. If you didn't have that ironed out, it was going to crumble and people were going to be frustrated or angry or upset.
Yeah.
Or the student was not going to be happy because you didn't have those pieces ironed out. And then it gave a little bit of structure on, pick 3 times during the day that this student is going to use this AAC device. He's going to have access to it all day, but these are the 3 times that we know it's going to be incredibly impactful. And we're going to say specific times, and we're going to know exactly what task the student is going to need to do and what outcome we are hoping for. And so you can forward this to administrators, people that might be having to decide whether this device gets funded or not, so they can walk into the classroom during that time and see like, oh, wow, he's really participating in circle time, or oh, wow, he's really interacting with peers during that, best buddies time or whatever. And then there's a data collection form, so you're able to concisely compile all that data together. So those were 2 forms that I've used quite a bit. And then the SWAC is somewhat similar to the WADI, lots of data collection tools within that.
Absolutely. And just to answer very quickly, they had a question about iPad apps for communication with big buttons, pictures for a student with limited hand use. And Sounding Board was was one of the options that was given. And these are just some examples of switches that can be used with iPads. And so, you can get Bluetooth. I mean, you can check these out of the Patents Library, but also just to know that it's out there, and some work, how they interface with the iPad. All right. So my favorite part, and hopefully you have some student cases that you would like to discuss. Talking about successes or problem solving, how you figured out how to keep some data that might be unusual, helpful for other people, or do you need help with a student case and would like to kind of brainstorm with your region about this? Does anybody have anything you'd like to discuss?
Yeah. Tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. Anything you can think of. A little tiny nugget.
Yeah.
Talking about data tracking, and I forget which meetings we've talked about this before, but an SLP from the Central region was talking about she's in a school district that has integrated weeks for their speech language pathologists, so they're on a 3-in-1 schedule. And to make sure that the data that she's taking isn't always at the same time and isn't always taken by her, that the paraprofessionals are taking data, that the teachers are taking data. She kind of uses that time to kind of like rotate and make sure, because she can only come into the classroom for intervention, between the hours of like 10:30 and 11, but communication needs to happen from bell to bell.
Yeah.
So trying to think of taking data that way, I thought that was really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything
you can think of? We had a case, actually, it was really kind of exciting. We had Karen Stein joining us this past hour, who is, give me her official title.
Oh gosh, Special Programs Assessment Specialist.
Thank you on the fly for coming up with
that. Student assessment. Yeah.
I know, it's almost as big as Jessica's title.
Yeah.
But yeah, she helps with the testing and accommodations for students, and this is her focus and love, and we're very grateful that she will be here next month to be able to discuss some of our further questions. But we had teachers who were able to ask her direct questions in the last one, so that was good. I don't know if any of you going through the rounds of ISTEP have questions that you might want to throw out or have us compile to maybe get more information.
One thing she mentioned about iStar, and I don't know if it was this one or another group where somebody had asked that it was easier for their student to, instead of maybe seeing it vertically, see the answers horizontally. So they wanted to physically cut up the iStar test to lay everything out so the student could manipulate it. And she said that's only okay if you fill out a non-standard accommodation form, because it is, of course, not standard. And so you just have to let them know they're not fancy people just chopping up the books in little pieces. So as long as you follow the rules, and it's all good and you can do it.
You can't do it in anger.
Yeah. That's true too.
You have to do it to the standard. Yeah, right. All right, super. Oh, there's a celebration coming in. Okay, can you read it?
Celebration. Introduced a student to Perlo Quota Go 2 months ago, and last week I asked him if he wanted syrup. And he independently put down his tray, pulled out his device, found the correct page, and said, "Syrup, please."
Oh my gosh.
Also, consequently, seen a great reduction in behavior.
Oh, isn't that amazing how connected these things are? Oh, I am so glad you shared that with us. Thank you so much, Regina.
Tray.
Yeah.
Got out his device.
Please do. I love that.
Oh, that is an awesome celebration.
Thanks for sharing, Regina.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yay is right.
Oh my God.
I just love it. And I know we've discussed this with so many of our groups across the state, but that correlation between behavior and frustration and not being, here I've talked a mile a minute the entire time, maybe with some content. But I can't even imagine how I would feel if I wasn't able to get that information out and to be able to find those modes and to see that success. Awesome.
I wonder if that crosses over at home too. Do the parents see a change as well? And everybody's using it in both school and home? And I hope.
What about in your case, Regina? Are they doing that? Do you know if they're using it at home too, or is this a school effort? I always love it when I address just one person in the group, because I imagine how I would feel if you heard your name.
You're typing as fast as you can.
Oh my gosh. Why did I say my name?
And if anyone else has any fun breakthroughs for the year, or just had his conference and they say it's communicating better and is much less aggressive.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Regina, if we could put you on the spot one more time, if you had any advice for people out there to like, okay, so what was one piece of advice you would give to other people wanting to replicate what you guys did? One thing that just worked really well that you think that was a piece, the syrup story. If you want a syrup story of your own, I would recommend.
I want a syrup story.
We were talking in our last meeting, paraprofessionals being a big piece of if you can train up those parents.
Yeah, that was their syrup story. And you made the statement at that point. If there was anybody I'd ever train, it would be paraprofessionals, which I totally agree is a really, really important thing. I'm glad you made that statement. They're with the kids around the clock. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have any? And Regina, feel free to. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Boys, they may play with it at first. Ooh.
I love this. Yes.
Boys, they may play with it at first, but babies babble when they're beginning to talk. It's hard to learn that they need to play with their voices too. Oh my gosh, Regina, have you been following me this week?
I know. Right? That is an amazing statement. And people, teachers and staff, see that playing as something that you're not going to be able to overcome when don't you want to try out the car when you get it? Absolutely. Oh, I love it that you said that.
I think we get that a lot of, and I think I posted on all of the Facebook pages about that. Is it stimming or is it learning?
Yeah.
And absolutely babbling, most children need to have that babble stage. And we think about, babbling or like the silly rhyming or the, putting words together. That goes on for years and years for typical language development. So absolutely, we need to have that time in there.
Yeah.
Julie says, love it. Vocal exploration. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I like the term vocal exploration.
I've never had the opportunity to do this myself, but someone was talking about programming speech sounds, not just the words, but the speech sounds of ah, ba, stuff like that, so they can put them together on their device. I thought that was really clever. And Julie says, not everything is sensory. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Regina adds,
I teach my staff that we have to have a behavior to change a behavior, so I want them to use it first.
Who are you? And why have we not heard from you before?
You must come back next time.
You must. Oh, I love it. What an empowering statement to make. Absolutely. We just want to crush it, instead of really understanding what the motivation of that behavior is. Oh, I love it. Really, really good.
If you want a syrup story, Regina, you inspired us.
I know, right? We're going to have a syrup story exploratorium.
Julie says, we all want self-control. Absolutely.
Some of us are 45 and haven't gotten it. Too funny. Oh, I'm so glad you shared that. Thank you. Does anybody else want to share a syrup story?
Or any questions for Regina or Julie?
Okay, well, you know what? We can move on just a little bit. We have just a little bit left, and feel free if the lag or the delay with this is making it so that you're typing like, don't move on. Please type it. As you see, we're seeing it, and we can definitely continue. But that being said, like we said earlier, we are definitely listening. And when you fill out the PGP surveys, we want to let you know what we do with that information. And basically, these are just a few things and how we are choosing to address this at this point. And so just keep the good ideas coming because you shape the success of this meeting. So popular communication apps on the iPad and demonstrations. We're going to continue to look at that through AT Corner. And then Jessica was talking about webinars that go along with that because, well, you want to talk about that? Yeah.
So, we'll definitely, and Julie can giggle a little bit under her breath, but I'll definitely be doing a webinar, not during our COP time, some other time, probably after school, just demonstrating some of the apps that you can borrow from Patents to try out. Maybe you don't know all the features and functions, and so yeah, we'll make sure that gets posted to your Facebook group.
Absolutely. And then the iStar was another huge, I know we talked a little bit about this today already, but the iStar and communicating effective yes and no. We've talked about the fact that if you don't have a yes and no on your test, we're pretty sure you don't have a yes and no outside of the test, which is really important to figure that out. So Karen Stein will be back and available for questions in the next meeting. Do we have a comment?
Julie says, I assume to the the webinar for apps. That will be very useful.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Julie.
Perfect. And then demonstration of apps and switch use. We're going to continue that exposure through AT Corner. So if you have specific ones that you want, make sure that you include that in your feedback so that we can cover that. And then there has been a huge outcry for blind, low vision, deaf and hard of hearing, and severe and cognitive disabilities. And you know, what this looks like when it comes to communication. Are there specific things? Are there different things that we can do? It's such a specialized area that I think that getting more experts in to deal with this is, or to be able to help educate us more is really important. So Lisa Paugh from the Indiana Deafblind Services Project will be here doing a guest spot. So she'll actually be answering some questions for us, but then we'll be able to pass your questions along to her. And we've included her website there, you know, just getting more information out there. And then we have a few, as you know, Kristen mentioned, the videos and the successful AT users. You know, it's always good to see them in person. Behavior management. So even in our syrup story, we've talked a little bit about behaviors today, and this is huge for people out there trying to figure out how this all works and how communication factors in with behavior issues. And then UDL transitioning into different building levels for those using AAC. I can tell you that we have attended a lot of professional development on UDL, Universal Design for Learning, and we are huge advocates for Universal Design for Learning, but figuring out how our AAC users factor into this is huge. Mm-hmm. It really is a huge looming idea out there. So we definitely want to continue to work with this thought process.
I think Julie's webinar that's coming up next month can answer or give you guys some really great ideas, really functional use tomorrow ideas.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So please, if you have any questions, what'd you say?
Natosha says, I program body parts in my ProQuest Pro for Mr. Potato Head speech game. My students can request certain parts she wants placed on the Mr. Potato Head. I love that idea.
I love that. What a great idea. Fantastic. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And of course, I mean, Mr. Potato Head's like a perennial favorite for any, you know, elementary and preschool teacher. But, you know, if you can do that, you can talk about self-care later on in life. That's a really important
huge connector. Thank you. And Julie says, excellent topics. AAC and UDL is a wonderful topic. Well, I could not agree more. So please, if you have any more questions, statements, anything like that, please keep them rolling in and we'll keep on answering or discussing. Or if you want to be unmuted to say anything on your own, we can still do that. Julie says,
you can use an alternate spinner from Mr. Potato Head too.
Oh, Julie Kuhn is the the alternate spinner queen. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Do you want us to unmute?
Do you want to be unmuted, Julie, and talk about it for a sec? Sure.
All right, Julie, where are you? There you are. Julie?
Hi there.
Hi.
Okay, well, you get me all excited about this stuff. So basically, the alternate spinner, if anyone wants to look it up, is an underused tool in the arsenal of AT. And it is just a quick, easy switch. It's a random spinner. You can't decide where it's going to stop, but you can activate it with a button on the device or through a switch. You can make overlays with it for it. So yeah, it comes with this, with the dice. But I've used planets, and when you do see one of my presentations, you'll see this. I've used planets. I used body parts, the heart, Mr. Potato Head. I've used all sorts of things, and these can easily include a student with low to no verbal skills whose goal is basically to improve their switch skills. You can easily include this student in general ed curricular goals because their goal is to activate the switch in a timely manner, technically. That's poorly written, forgive that, but that's what the ultimate goal is. And then what they're doing is choosing something that a student who's responsible for knowing the parts of the heart or pieces of the planet, volcanoes, anything, that includes them in the general ed curriculum. So that's how to connect those content connectors, those curriculum content connectors, using low tech for these kids who have significant disabilities. It's exciting.
So if you want to hear more about this, your presentation is going to be directly after the Northwest meeting. So directly after this meeting.
Yep.
Next meeting.
The next meeting, not this one. Julie's like, no, not today.
Okay, I'll be ready in a moment.
Thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yay. All right. So our next meeting, speaking of, is on Monday the 24th, and directly before Julie Kuhn's famous meeting. And we're going to be featuring, as we said before, Lisa Pa from Indiana Deafblind Services and Project and Karen Stein from the Office of Student Assessment for IDOE. And we hope to have 2 Patten staff members attending the meetings who specialize in deaf-blind services and blind and low vision and deaf of hard of hearing, to answer some additional questions if you need it. Regina had a statement.
Also love the app called Image Spinner. I love that too. You can have up to 10 spaces and take pictures in the place of each space. I use student pictures, colors, numbers, content, words. I love it, and I know which one you're talking about.
Are you going to pull it up?
You should.
Yeah, let's pull this baby up.
Image Spinner app.
Oh, I love it that you're sharing so much. This is great.
It's this one, right? 99 cents. Look at that. Super easy.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Making something in a snap.
Oh, yeah. Natasha, yeah, absolutely. We like it too. Cool.
Maybe we should get that in the Pattens.
See? I'm writing it down.
Yes, best 99 cents I have ever spent.
Thank you for sharing.
But that Choose-It spinner that Julie was showing, we were talking about it. Like, oh, I wish I could get one. And another teacher was like, oh, it's in our adaptive math curriculum. Like, she pulled it out of a closet and it hadn't been unwrapped yet. Because she didn't know how to use it.
What it was.
Just for dice. So, ask around. There might be one of those Choose-It spinners hiding.
Lurking in your
at the
closet near you. Absolutely. Let's clear out those closets.
Yeah. I got someone with my equals a curriculum. I think that was the one. So maybe someone else, if you have this curriculum, you might have it hidden underneath all the other manipulatives that you got in your box.
Yeah. She said the spinner. Yeah, absolutely, Cheryl. Yep. Fantastic. All right. So if you have any other things that you would like to share, we have time for you to do that. Feel free to pop it in. Type in what you would like or ask to be unmuted to talk about it. But we'd also like to give you the link for the PGP certification for today's meeting. And again, that gives you opportunities to give us ideas of what you took away from the meeting, and also what you would like to see or what you don't want to see more of. And if you say me, I'm going to be sad, but I'm not going to judge, okay? But feel free to give us some feedback and grab your PGPs. And is there anything else that anybody would like to share for the greater good? All right, feel free. We'll zip back through really quickly to our information. Please join the Facebook page if you haven't done that already. And this is Jessica's information, which of course you'll be able to get on the Pattens website and the Facebook page, and mine.
So if you email either of us, if you're interested in us road tripping to you, make sure that happens.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much for attending today. I realize we're leaving a little bit early, but I'm sure that you're itching to get out of school anyhow. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate it so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.